In this video, we will be covering the principles behind leading improvement in an effective way. We will explore why many initiatives fail, why leading on educational technology is different than leading on other elements of teaching and learning, and an introduction to the process model we will be using to ensure the changes you want to make have the best chances of success. Initiatives often fail. Most people will have some experience of this in their workplace at some point in time. There are many reasons why well-intentioned drives end up either short-lived or never get off the ground at all. Typically, these can be caused by lack of commitment. The push for a particular product or technique or process may have been given to one person, and no one deems it to be their responsibility to act upon any directives. There is no understanding or support from those above, and no movement or compliance below. In other words, it is not a priority. Lack of resources. Sometimes we can enthusiastically advocate for a principle or new idea, but find that no one is prepared to fund it or give you the time to implement it with any conviction. Lack of integration. The initiative has not been linked to the organization's goals or ethos. It may not fit with the way the organization works, or is too radical to gain traction, except beyond a handful of enthusiasts. At best, it may have a brief shelf life. At worst, the initiative may create conflict and resentment. Lack of measurement. The criteria for success has not been communicated or created. No one knows on what basis the initiative will have been deemed to have been successful, so it will be difficult to know how to review or sustain the improvements. Lack of preparation. If we have an enthusiasm for the initiative, this will not necessarily be shared by the organization's members as a whole. Driving ahead without taking into account the starting point of the organization or checking the state of its institutional readiness will lead to inevitable indifference. Question point. Which of the 5 lacks that explain implementation failure most represent the scenario in your school? Hopefully from these you will have recognized the need for you to do some proverbial digging before planning any actions. You need to know the full picture of where all stakeholders are in relation to digital technology in your establishment. The main difference with technology initiatives is the imperative has changed. Being digitally literate is a life skill and part and parcel of modern life. This cannot be ignored and is a matter of equity. You must have all students using the common tools of the working world in their learning. Technology requires infrastructure and technical support. If this is not cohesive or consistent, all technology initiatives will ultimately fail. Mindsets. Technology creates strong feelings in people. These need to be addressed. Teachers and leaders are likely to have unique and personal experiences of ICT initiatives, negative or otherwise. You will need to engage with these personal frames of mind. Educational technology has often been touted and sold as being revolutionary, and this has not helped its cause. Unhelpful collective myths about technology exist, such as the digital native or digital immigrant idea. In fact, young people's use of technology can be relatively basic. Using anything new in the classroom, technological or otherwise, is a gamble when you are managing a class of young people. Taking risks with technology, which may or may not work in the way you hope, is a higher stakes gamble than most. Technology changes extremely fast, and schools are often at the tail end of a technological cycle, so that as soon as it is absorbed, something has replaced it. Schools are not always agile places in this respect. Also, we must remember that some people are not confident with ICT in or outside of their work. Question point. Why do schools often lack the ability to be agile when it comes to using technology? Gartner's hype cycle diagram represents the passage over time of a technology's maturity, adoption, and application phases. It's useful as it shows how many of us experience the emergence of new technology and reinforces the fact that it takes time for things to embed at a level where there are real gains in use and competence. But, as Roy Amara stated, we tend to overestimate the effect of a technology in the short run and underestimate the effect in the long run. Question point. Where have you seen technology conforming to Gartner's hype cycle? It can be a useful activity to get teachers to think through which technologies they have adopted over time, as it can help them to acknowledge how technologies have become embedded over time without them being fully aware, e.g. tracking systems, online resource searching, etc. On that basis, We need to look at those differences and create clarity around our objectives before attempting to induce change upon the curriculum or the classroom. This model shows the incubation approach, which we will be using as the basis of our leadership strategy. We must ensure that each outer level is complete before moving inwards towards the next stage. All changes to the classroom and/or the curriculum need to be incubated by all of the outer layers first, or change will be much harder to embed. Commitment. Effecting meaningful change requires a firm commitment from the entire management team. Leading on digital technology requires allocations of time and resources, and there must be a clear sign-off on these before proceeding. Conditions. Next, the leader must ensure the right conditions are in place to support the initiative. Technical problems will kill off even the most careful strategies, so spending time ensuring the infrastructure is ready and fit for purpose is an essential part of the process. Climate. Following that, the plan and vision must be communicated to staff consistently and regularly across planned meetings and interactions. It must be publicised to ensure staff understand the priority of the programme. In the culture phase, training and support occur to build the requisite culture of technology use, both in everyday teaching and learning, such as in the classroom, but also as a foundational aspect of the whole curriculum. Technology should become an integral consideration in both, and in the next video we will be looking in more detail at theories and strategies for achieving these aims. Question point. How will you secure the necessary commitment in your school to begin the incubation model approach?